So it's been more than a day since I uploaded, so RIP daily schedule. That's because sand doors, I kind of ran out of sand doors to build. So I built this door instead. 3x3 foot door. Hello. And I broke it. Psych, turns out I literally added a delay circuit to stop me activating it too fast. Why am I so smart and so dumb at the same time? So the problem with this is, I mean, it's not really big, to be honest. Like, compared to Redstone not long ago, this is probably pretty small. It's pretty nice. It's pretty symmetrical, which is nice. You can kind of only activate it from one side unless you do Redstone around the side like this, so sad times. I mean, all this bit at the front is not part of the door, it's just the wall stuff. But yeah, I wasn't happy with this, so I kept trying to make it smaller. And I kept trying to make it smaller. And I kept trying to make it smaller. And all of these don't work. They're all spectacularly broken in different ways. This one, the top, works completely fine, you know. That's all good, easy peasy. The bottom is a bit, you know, funky. This one has a door. So that's interesting, you know, place that, and it doesn't work. Lovely. Oh, there's also this one that doesn't work. So lots of non-working doors, and instead of building a door that works, or, you know, just doing a tutorial for the one that works, I just kept trying to build them smaller and smaller. I'm pretty sure I even built a smaller version of this door on a different computer. That's what I'm like. But in the end, I've just got this door. The first door. Has a pretty, you know, it's actually a pretty clean opening sequence. And the redstone looks nice, so I guess out of all the doors, makes sense I came back to this one, but just... Okay, so to build this, you're going to need this 4x9 area, and the resources in my inventory right here. So you don't actually need 64. Well, you just need a bunch of blocks, basically. So 24 sticky pistons, 11 observers, 3 note blocks, 8 redstone torches, bunch of blocks. I'm using yellow, blue and green for different parts, 9 repeaters, and a bunch of redstone. Again, I'm not counting the redstone. So our front of the door is in the middle, and it's 4 blocks up. Like so. And then our door would fill in. And then our door would be a 3x3 like this. And the floor is 4 blocks up from where we're building. So for the pistons, firstly, we just have kind of the bottom of the 3x3 door. So we have this double extender 1 block off the floor in the middle. We have piston to the side, facing into these blocks. So now if we're facing this piston, we go 1 block back and 1 block forward and then 1 block up. And the reason we do that is we do 2 pistons facing outwards. Then next to those, we do 3 pistons facing into the door. Then in front of those, we've got 2 pistons. And on the top, above those, we've got an observer aiming downwards. And then we copy this on the other side. So we go 2 blocks across. From there, 1 block back. We place 2 pistons facing door, 3 pistons facing door next to those, and the 2 facing at the front like that. An observer facing down. For the top, 2 blocks above the observers, diagonally to the side. So just 3 blocks in the middle, we do pistons. Then in front of those, we do more pistons, all aiming down. Then we do pistons aiming at the door. So should look like this. Okay, so for our input block, we're going to have a no block to diagonally below this piston aiming sideways. Whoops, I destroyed the double extender. Then next to that, we're going to have another note block, and coming out of this, we're going to have an observer aiming at the top piston. Then out of the left-hand side, we're going to have an observer facing outwards, 1 facing upwards, and 1 facing across to power this piston. So this does this, and then this. And then finally, we just need to push them up 1 more block. So to do that, on the left side, we do an observer aiming down, 1 aiming across into a block with a repeater on it on 4 ticks. And then a block next to this piston. And then our input is this observer diagonally below the piston, so not directly under. 1 to the side. We do an observer. And then you just got to set that off somehow. So you just need a short pulse, is the point. Then on the way back, we need to make this double extender go off. So to do that, we go around the back. and this observer diagonally below the piston, we do one facing outwards from it and one facing across into a block with redstone. Then we go one block down, then one block above, and redstone on all those in this Y shape. To the side here at the bottom, we do a piston, then an observer facing to the front, then a block in front of that with redstone dust on top, and then a block next to that with a 4-tick repeater, then an observer above that, and make sure you have a solid block above this, otherwise this double extender won't work. So if your door is closed like this, then you want the observer to be here, but if you've got it in the open position like this observer should be here. Just a note, because it kind of swaps depending on whether it's open or shut. So the way I'm going to activate this is by using a piston with an observer that pushes into this note block, and that means I can activate it with a button like this. There you go, there's the opening, and then the closing would be this. Moving on to the main part of the door, I'm going to use green. So this is the sides. So to push the sides in, we need to push these pistons out to here. Then we need the observers to go above them to set them off. But we also need the observers to pull back first so they don't get set off again when they're here. So that's what all this circuit is going to be for. So to set off these pistons, to push these pistons out, we just use a block with redstone dust on top of it that powers a block here. Then this piston underneath gets powered by the one above getting set off, and this block diagonally above it getting powered, and then this redstone powers both these ones. So this will get powered by a block underneath with a torch on top. So as you can see, they're pushed out. But then diagonally below that, we have a block to the side with a torch on. Then if we go one block across from that, and 2 blocks up, we have a torch, then a block, then another torch, then a block again, and then we have a slab to the side with a redstone dust on it, and that'll power this piston with the observer, so we power it separately. And the reason we use a slab is because if it was a block, it would sell off the piston below, which we don't want to happen at the same time as the observer. Honestly, I don't think it matters, because this one will get set off at the same time, kind of, and then we'll pull back faster, so it shouldn't really matter, but I just put a slab to make sure, because I don't want things setting off other things that aren't together. So these torch towers kind of have different delays. So the first thing we do is from our yellow circuit in this Y shape we do a block to the right with a repeater on 4 ticks, then just 2 blocks with redstone on top like so, and this will power the block with torch on it to power these 4 pistons here. Then we go one out from this yellow block with another block with redstone, then we go to the side with another 4-tick repeater. Then that goes into a block with a redstone on it, and then a block with a 2-tick repeater on it. And now we're going to add some delay to the bottom by putting a redstone on this block below the torch, then a block with a repeater on 2 ticks, and then another block. And this will just delay these pistons so that they pull in after the observer, and that means they won't get powered by it when they're here and pull this part of the wall that's kind of the frame of the door in. So we just want to stop that happening. So we repeat this repeater setup on the other side. So on the bit close to the door, next to the piston, we do a 4-tick repeater. Then we do block, redstone, redstone, into a block with a torch on the side, then a block with torch on top, block above that, redstone dust, block to the side, that dust. And then we do above here, 4-tick repeater, into a block and another block with redstone, 4-tick repeater, block, torch, block, torch, block, slab with redstone dust on it, and then our delay circuit by below this repeater, block with redstone on it, block with a 2-tick repeater, and then just a block. So it powers this redstone. So if we put in our blocks into these 2 bits at the side, this is what it looks like when we power it. And the right side appears to be being a bit funky, so we'll have to check that out. I did 4 ticks on the top instead of 2 ticks, sorry. 2 ticks on this repeater going into this torch tower at the back. So we'll put these blocks where they're supposed to be, and then we'll power it. There you go, all good. And now this top bit, we can't push it down when these observers are here, so we have to push it down afterwards. So that's taken into account. So I'm going to do this bit in blue, so I'll actually need 7 blue blocks, not 6. So if we're at the back on the right hand side, you could also just do it on the left and mirror it, it's fine. From the torch tower that goes highest, we do a block to the side of the block on top of the torch, and then we do a repeater on top of that on 4 ticks. This goes into a block, and then there's another block above the repeater, and these both have redstone on them. So to the right of the lower one, we have another block, 1 block diagonally above this lower one with redstone on it, and that goes into a note block, and then another note block to the side of that. And then we have 2 observers from those going into 2 blocks in the middle. At the back, we have a piston facing towards the door that this top redstone is going into with an observer on it. And then 1 block in front of that, we have a block. And then the ceiling of the door, so that these pistons at the top are next to. We have redstone running along that. And that's because this observer will diagonally power these pistons when they get pushed down 1 block below. So these blocks with the redstone on them that get powered will power those pistons with block updates and make them push our door in. So if we fill in those blocks and press our button, the entire thing should be done now. Now, again, if it goes wonky, the most important thing to check is if it's open, this observer should be here, and if it's closed, the observer should be there. So just make sure of that. So we'll set it off now. And there we go. There's our 3x3 flush door. So for lack of uploads, I have been ill, and I've spent way too long on these doors. We've got a video now, so catch you next time. I've been Untitled.